Good evening from Vernon, BC. It's Arlo Johnson calling, and it's 9:30 p.m. Actually, it's a little late to be doing this, but I'm not very tired, so felt like doing something tonight. The thing is, well, there's several things come up, and one of them I was going to mention to you. It's kind of humorous. I've been working at a project, an adult community project, now for 35 years. I started it with this guy in 1989. I was a realtor. I sold it to him, and I told him, I said I'd build him an adult community. Well, the other day, I've been there for 35 years. They're all built, not quite all sold. 2 left to sell. And I go out. I'll be 90 in April. It'll last that long. But anyway, people have bought from all over the place. This one woman sent a note into the office, an email, and said, "Who's this old guy driving around in a white car? I can't quite see his license plate or anything, but he looks like a coffin dodger to me." And I thought, I'd never been called that in my life before. I mean, see, this woman is pretty, you can't hardly say that she's, really got it all there. She's paranoid and whatever. But anyway, I have now been called officially a coffin dodger. I'd never heard that term before. So I should stop by and tell her thanks for the new term. I never heard that. And, well, I know I won't do that. But anyway, that's how life works for me. I'm going to eventually have to just quit going to work, I guess. Or you can call it going to work. I go out for a few hours in the morning. That's about it. I'm back here usually for lunch at 11:30, quarter to 11:30. And that's my day. I'm out there at 7:30 in the morning until back here at 11:30. But, like I often think, I spent all my life doing building a project like that. I don't know. I don't have any hobbies. I don't have anything. So I can't just sit in a room with a bunch of old people and look at each other. Can't do that yet. I imagine it'll happen. I wouldn't be surprised. I bought a scooter, so I got a scooter as a scooter shed. So if they decide to take my license away, which could happen anytime, all I'd have to do is get caught going through one red light. That's it. Done. But anyway, also I saw a thing come up. Well, it was on YouTube actually, and it's going on about the city of God and the size of it and the horrendous size of it. And they had a sort of a rendering of what they thought it would be like. But when they start going over this again, I'm sure that 98% of the people in this world don't really think about that. That is in the wings. It's either developed or being developed. It's bigger than twice as big as France. It's in square miles. It would be 2,250,000 square miles. You can look that up for sizes of countries. I mean, it's bigger than France. I mean, it'd be bigger than England, I think. And it's big, 1,500 miles square. Just think 1,500 miles from where you live and think 1,500 miles away somewhere. That'd be one side of the city. Now in that city, like 2,250,000 square miles. That's a lot. On one floor. You could say it's on one floor. How many floors could it be at 1,500 miles high? It really does boggle the mind. Now, just step back and think for a minute. God deals in such big figures and quantities and things that it's just unbelievable to us. We can't grasp that. For instance, he says he knows all the stars by name, created them all. There's millions of stars. There's 8 billion people on the planet, and God says that he knows what everyone is doing. So his scale is so much bigger than we can fathom, really, that it should make us step back and think that this is a promise so great that it's so great that you can't drink it in. But you can say to yourself, whatever it is, I don't want to miss that, because if it's, as great as that sounds, and I believe that, here's the thing, I believe every word that God says, every word, and every word that Jesus says, totally. Now you might say, well, no. I'll tell you that to me is the safest bet there is in the blinking universe. You can hang your hat. I can hang my hat on that. I believe that. And there's lots of others that do too. And God says that's a prerequisite to being in his kingdom, is to trust him and believe him. And believe in Jesus Christ. My problem is I don't think that I seem to lean to like God is more important than Jesus or something. I don't know if that's true. I don't think so. I think they're just as important. I think if we ever get to understand this, it will become clear to us what God is. They're both part of what's called God. They're in complete harmony and everything. They're not separate, like separate ideas each. Jesus said we are one. Now, in other words, it says that he, kind of defers to the Father, and certain things are kept by the Father and nobody else, and he's like the senior one, or the most important one, I guess, the way he puts it. He said he does what his Father does, what he sees his Father do. And his Father says, all judgment is given to you. All. That's a big thing. The thing is, a person should actually meditate and really meditate on God's promise. of the city that his children that he's going to keep or whatever or save are going to live with him in this city. And from what he says in the book of Revelation basically is a city so great and so, I mean, I don't know how many floors would that 1,500 miles be? Miles. I mean, you might have 20, 30 feet per floor, or 40 feet. Maybe it's high, deal. And then there's more, and there's more. I don't know. But the thing about it is, obviously, for anybody who's going to live with God in his kingdom, is going to have to be productive somehow. Jesus said, I work and my Father works. And when you think about it, there really is nothing more where a human, well, a person can get satisfaction except work. It's work of some kind, whatever it is the only thing that gives a meaning to a person's life. And that's why, well, I mean, I'm not crazy, but I never look forward to retiring. I mean, if physically I have to, that's one thing. But right now, right today, touch wood, the only thing I got wrong with me is my doggone back aches. I got some crushed discs. I've had them now for years. But, you know, it's really kind of a blessing to be a few months away from being 90 years old and still having some marbles left. And I thank God for that, because none of my doings. I see all kinds of people who are much, much younger, who are dementia, whatever, and a lot of them, not just a few. And there's degrees. You see the degrees in people. I'm living in this home because I didn't want to cook and clean and do something. I did this for 15 years on my own, and I got so, this is a real chore. This is looking after this house. It's here my biggest responsibility is to get to the table 3 times a day. 6:45, 7:45, 12:45, 5:45, every day. I mean, I'm eating this good for a long time. I mean, it's not really big meals, but they're very good. They're very, varied, and but I mean they're sort of repetitious too. You know that it's pasta on Monday and fish on Friday, and mind you, they have some special days and special meals, and they are pretty special. But for the ones who are interested, for the ones who should be interested, there's no more important thing you can think about. There really isn't. You're on this planet to make a decision about whether you're going to carry on another life system. Yes or no. That's what it's about. If you think this is the only thing in the world is this right now, well then you better enjoy yourself, because that's all you're going to get. If you believe what God says, that he created this world to create sons, and he said sons, he wants sons. Now you could say, oh, that's discriminatory, blah, 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 blah. No, not for him. The womb will no longer be required. And women who believe in God and believe in Jesus Christ will be saved just as good as a man will be saved. Only thing, they won't be a woman. Or a man won't be a man. Actually, a man, he'll be a different type of being. It'll, as far as I understand, they say that it'll be somebody who looks like a young male, 20 years old or so, and they'll stay like that. Now, there's nothing wrong with being in a different form and living with God forever in a body that has life in it itself, doesn't need anything, never sleeps, never does anything, it's alive all the time. Powerful body thing, most likely can travel and move all over the place. And will be perfectly mentally good and clear and powerful. You know, the promises of that, you really have to sit and think about that to know that what you're thinking about is the right thing, that you really need to contemplate and pray and ask God. Don't be afraid to pray. Praying is just talking to the creator of the universe. He's made that possible, providing you approach him through the auspices of his Son, who paid the price for you to be able to do this. Otherwise, he won't hear you. Yeah. That's, and you have to admit, that is the highest form of communication is in the universe, is you putting your hands together and saying, "Dear Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I come to you in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, and I ask for forgiveness." And then whatever else you have to ask. I don't know, am I talking too low? Could be. Anyway, let's call that good for today. And, you know, if you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. I need to get these subscription deals up. They're 136 now, but I need 500. Anyway, I really appreciate if you took the time to listen to me a little bit. And, you know, I really appreciate that. I am very grateful. And all I want to say is that I hope you have a very good evening, and God bless you, and until we talk again. Thank you.